All right, good morning. Saturday morning. Just kind of want to outline what's going to happen today and probably tomorrow as well. This may take a little longer. Um, Air suspension. So in the back end of the van, I'm going to replace the existing um, jounce bumpers, I think they're called, and I'm going to replace them with these air bladders. These air bladders also have a jounce bumper inside, so it prevents them from fully bottoming out. So you pull off the existing ones and you put these in their place. They fit right in. These are built for the transit specifically. So you have to select the model when you buy the equipment. Um, so this will each each one goes at the tire in the rear, left and right, and this will allow you to raise and lower your suspension with through air. They recommend you run them on a minimum of 5 psi, but no more than 100 psi. And you'll adjust that based on the weight of the van. And it's supposed to also help with keep the sway, give you better gives a better ride, better control. So, and one of the other things it will do is, and why I originally thought about this, if you look at the distance from the back tire to the end of the car or the end of the van, it's that's really, it bottoms out. So if you go up a steeper incline, like if you're coming off of the highway into a steeper incline for say a state park, you run the risk of bottoming out and scraping the back end of the van. Well, with this, I'll have the ability to raise and lower. I think it says up to almost 3 inches. So that would give me that extra 3 inches of clearance so that the back of the van doesn't bottom out. The trailer hitch won't drag across the concrete or the road. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, am I going to get out there with a bicycle pump and pump these things up when I need? No, that is not the case. The second part of this process will be to install this here compressor. So this compressor will sit underneath the van somewhere down in here. And it will tie into my upfitter switches. If you remember when we did the walkthrough of the van, probably don't remember, I ordered 4 upfitter switches. These switches sit on the console, and they are active when you set them with a jumper so that they're active when the van is on, not when the van is just sitting. So this compressor system, and I have a 2-gallon tank, and that'll all tie into that upfitter. There's 4 of them. The 2 outside ones are up to 20 amp. The 2 inside ones are up to 40 amp. And this compressor needs 30 amps. So I will put this probably on switch number 2. It'll tie into the harness. As we're driving down the road, as I know we're coming into a campsite, I will go ahead and flip that switch. The compressor will fill the air tank. And then we have 2, we'll just leave it on if we need. The beauty of this system is also that it's independently controlled. So I can do left or right, or I can do both. You flip the switch, you get your pressure built, and then it has a remote control that you just say, okay, on the left side, I want 5 pounds of pressure. On the right side, I want 20 pounds because I just filled up water and it's really heavy on that side. So that would level it, which also gives us the ability, we pull into our campsite, it's not level, we're up, I can raise the back end completely 3 inches, or I can raise and lower left and right to level the van. So there's a lot of benefit to putting this in. One other thing I was thinking, I'm driving down the road and I pick up a nail. I'll have my patch kit, my plug kit. I can pull over, fix the tire with my plug kit, but I can't put air in the tire. Well, now I can, because I'll split off the hoses. So not only will they feed the bladders, but we'll have on the side of the van, probably right under the shore power inlet here, I'll have a connector where I can connect my air hose, and then I can get to either the front or the back tire, and I'll do the same on the other side, where I can get to either the front or the back tire. So it'll help us to air the tires. It'll help us to air the bike tires when we get the bikes. Just a lot of benefit to this. It is a little, these should go in fairly simple. These just replace the existing ones. I jack up the back end a bit to give me some crawl space, although I think there's probably already enough room so I don't have to raise the van at all. The air compressor is in this system is going to take a little bit more work because I have to drill some holes. Well, for instance, the air filter that goes on the compressor, you don't want that under your van because you're going to get all the dust and grime sucked into your air filter. So you have to cut a hole in your van to put the air filter inside the van. Plus I got to get it into the van for electricity to tie it into the upfitter switches. So it's a little more work. I'm pretty sure I can get it all done this weekend. You know, knock on wood. And we'll see how it goes. So that's my project for the weekend on the van side. Of course, there's real life things you got to get done too. So we'll post an update. Probably, well, I don't know if I'm going to combine the update with this. If you're seeing this and there's no update, you'll get an update tomorrow evening, or I might just post this tomorrow evening. So thanks. Bye. All right, I wanted to maybe go into the tools a little bit better. First, I want to show you, this is the jounce bouncer that I just removed from the Transit. It fits into this cup like this, and there's a little 13mm bolt that held it into the van. So that's been removed. You have to, as you assemble all this, you have to put this to certain torque specs. There's newtons per meter or something like that. There's inch pounds, there's foot pounds, there's all kinds of different ways to measure this. And you used to need to have a torque wrench for each different type. NM, newtons per meter, or I don't know. It was often, you'll have foot pounds or inch pounds. So what I've got here on this ratchet is a digital torque wrench. And this allows you to set foot pounds, inch pounds, however you want to measure it, or however you have to measure it. So a lot of times you won't get, for a smaller type connection, you're not going to get foot pounds, you're going to get inch pounds. And of course your foot pound torque wrench may or may not go that low. So you would have to go buy another torque wrench. Well, this keeps you from having to do that. Now this doesn't have like from 0 to 1,000, obviously, but typically it's going to allow you to get what you need. So for example, here on the top of this bracket, I have 2 screws that are hex head, and they need to be torqued to a certain spec. This bracket here replaces this, right? So this goes on the upper against the frame, and this with the flange towards the inside, and you attach it with this button head screw that's also hex. It goes right in here, and you have to attach this to your van at 30 torque, 30 30 foot pounds. Okay, so in order to do that, you need the torque wrench. So this little torque wrench, you turn it on, you can set your torque to whatever spec you need, 30 foot pounds in this case. If it was 10 inch pounds, it has inch pounds, and that keeps you from having to buy 3 or 4 different wrenches. So that's what I'm doing now. I will also, it doesn't call for it. I'm not sure that these can even back out because the way this is all going to be set up, but I'm going to put some blue Loctite thread locker on every bolt that is going into the van so that it doesn't back out, and then I'm in a world of hurt down the road. So that's just a real quick segue there. Yeah, back to under the van.